Hey, what's up, Street Dogs? Eric from the Eric from Street Photography blog. So I just wanted to do a quick video with you on this notion of inquiring for yourself. So this is the basic thing that I wanted to share. In life, we have been raised by our parents, by society, religion, societal values, whatever. And we've essentially been programmed what to think. And so I like to use these computer science analogies or these like even matrix analogies because I do think that when we're born, we're more or less kind of a blank slate. Obviously, we have genetics and certain predispositions, whatever. But for the most part, I think you start off kind of like a blank operating system. And over time, as a child and as an adult, you start to accumulate bloatware, different apps, certain bugs, whatever it may be. And the cool thing is, as an adult, you have the point and the power now to challenge all these preconceived notions and to determine for yourself what you like and what you don't like. So once again, if you think of your mind like an operating system, you decide which apps to install or uninstall. And I just found that for myself, probably the most useful thing for me to become more powerful, more productive, blah, blah, isn't actually to add more apps to my over of applications, but rather to uninstall superfluous apps, things that are slowing me down. And this is kind of the cool thing too, is that even when you use older devices, like for example, I got my best friend, one of my friends, Justin, he gave me like an old iPhone 6S Plus, and I have like pretty much no apps on it. All I use is, Notes, iBooks, iWriter, CalACam, and I use Procreate. And it's a pretty old phone, but because I've been able to uninstall these unnecessary superfluous apps, it actually runs pretty fast. So this is the irony, is I look at most people with the newest iPhones and they got like a trillion apps. And I think that's generally why we want to upgrade our device and stuff like that, because we have so much superfluous apps and bloatware, whatever, stuff that kills our batteries. And even just thinking about our bodies and our lives and our lifestyle is, don't think about what to add to your life, but think about what to subtract from your life. Taking back to the original idea of thinking for yourself. Ever since I was a kid, there's a saying in Korean, it's like, 눈치 없어? Nunchi is kind of like social sense, and 없어 means don't have. And so ever since Eric was a kid, they're always like, oh, Eric, 눈치 없어, which means that I never really followed the social rules. And I'm sure now if you took me to some like rando child psychologist, if I was a kid again, they would say I probably have like mild Asperger's or something. I just think I'm just really friendly. But once again, whenever people say that you have certain mental disorders or whatever, they're essentially just trying to make you generic, like some sort of silly norm. But anyways, taking it back to the topic at hand. So I think my whole life, I've essentially been trying to inquire things for myself. Is whenever I call bullshit on something, I like to challenge that notion for myself and to test it out. So for example, even in photography, people say, oh, use XYZ camera or shoot film or shoot digital or shoot with a phone. It's impossible to know what the process is like for you until you just try it out for yourself. And also I find that self-inquiry and trying to test things for yourself is probably the most fun, enjoyable, and rewarding thing to do possible, because other people's preferences will never be the same as yours, and other people's experiences won't be the same as yours too. And not only that, but you probably have very unique perspectives that you could offer to other people based on your own personal N of one perspective. And this is just my personal guiding philosophy, is if I could create an artwork, a video, a blog, a something that can empower at least one other human being on planet Earth or the internet, to me, that's worth it. And this is kind of what keeps me going. And even if at the end of the day, it don't help nobody else but myself, as long as it gives me the impetus, the energy, the vigor to wake up every single morning, to be more creative and to be optimistic and hopeful towards life, then I think it's worth it. And so I think even philosophy is kind of this practice of challenging norms, challenging ethical rules and things like that. Because you're always told what to think, what not to think. And very few people, teachers, institutions encourage you to actually think for yourself. And probably the thing that I'm most grateful for is growing up, my mom was the best. She never really I think she gave me some pretty good moral and ethical frameworks to work within, but she never forced me to think a certain way. And so she allowed me to become a free thinker, a free spirit. Even looking at my mom now, she's like the best, is that she's the ultimate free spirit. She don't, she tells me as she's gone older, the thinking that she has is, so what? So whenever people think certain things of you or judge you in a certain way, my mom's just like, so what? And also the humbling idea that we're all going to die. Spoiler alert, knowing that you're going to die. And ultimately, like even your human body, like this flesh thing we have within ourselves, it's like very small. Like you don't really need much to survive. All you need is some like eggs, some ground beef, some coffee, some water, and you're pretty much good. And our bodies are a lot stronger than we think it is. It's pretty resilient. And so even knowing that we're going to die, to me is actually very empowering because, and also that our needs are very simple because it means that you have all this human metabolism, all this energy and this focus and this life to essentially do what you want to do. And I don't think there's an ultimate right or wrong way to live your life. I think ultimately what you want to do is strive to figure out what you really care about and to curate your life in order to maximize what you like to do. For me, that means making videos or doing blog posts or making art, whatever, and to minimize what you don't like to do, like, emails or social media or superfluous social interactions. And thus I feel like my guiding framework is this notion of this will to simplicity. Is every single day I'm trying to simplify my life. I'm trying to challenge notions I've been taught, and every single day unlearn or uninstall superfluous ideas, people, negative energies from my mind to give me more power, to give me more economical use of my mind and my human metabolism for what I consider meaningful and powerful and things that could ultimately help other people too. So once again, the takeaway point is think for yourself, challenge everything, ignore everybody else. When people say this is good, this is bad, this is wrong, this is evil, just kind of sit and think to yourself, why do people think this way? Strive to understand why other people think that way and why they think it's right or wrong, and then judge whether it's right for you or not. I think ultimately I have this notion of truthiness. So there's certain degrees or depth of truth. And I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to gain a deeper level of truth or a deeper level of self-understanding. And what works for us and what's true for us is not going to be true for other people. So always strive to seek the truth for yourself and then share your personal truth with others, because there's a high likelihood there's lots of people out there similar to you, or to give them the framework of thinking for themselves too, to follow the wisdom, know thyself. What are some personal tips and tricks and thoughts and whatevers you personally have on thinking for yourself, ignoring other people? Certain tips I have is don't read comments, spend less time asking other people what they think, spend more time to think about what you think, and have the courage to say what might be unpopular, but if it feels authentic to you, feel free to share some of your tips in the comments below. Share your own personal thoughts, life hacks, whatever it may be. Also, if you're starting up your own platform, website, YouTube channel, page, whatever it may be, feel free to leave a link, and let's all continue to thrive together and challenge the culture together. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Peace out.